Mr. Winters, you're recognized. Please come to the mic. Tell us who you are and the organization that you work for, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. I'm Jerry Winters with the Tennessee Education Association, and I very much appreciate this opportunity, and frankly didn't plan on speaking today, but I think some things have been said that we need to speak. And first of all, I understand what this committee was, I thought, going to consider with the House amendment. And that amendment, and I owe some compliments to some people whose names I will not call. You know who you are, who helped fashion that amendment in a very well-intentioned effort to try to move this process along the road. I will say, though, that has been called a compromise amendment many times during this session. And it's been pointed out, it was not a compromise with our involvement. Had we been involved from the very beginning on this issue, we probably wouldn't be in this position right now. Because I think we had a lot of very constructive ideas that could have been put into the mix. And contrary to what some people might say, we would not have just shut the door. I understand the political lay of the land here. We would have had to have had that discussion, and we had a lot to offer, and we were not involved. This is, to say a divisive issue is understating it. And it has been referenced by some as an attack on teachers. Truly, we think it is. I mean, we really believe it is. And the teachers across the state, they may not be here in the hundreds. They would be if they weren't in the classroom. They are ticked off at this legislature because they think that this legislature has wasted a lot of time during this session trying to solve a problem that does not exist. If there's a problem in Sumner County, and there is, then that needs to be resolved in Sumner County. But you can count on one hand, the places in this state where there are problems with negotiations. Reference has been made to Race to the Top. We were very pleased, and I was very intimately involved, as were some others, a year ago to make that happen. We went out on a limb with our own members to make that happen. And 1 year later, and I say this, I started to say with all due respect, I just say it. We now face a situation where you're doing this just because you can do it. It has nothing whatsoever to do with changes in education. We agreed to some things that moved this state forward. And now, I'll be real honest with you, I think you passed, and we're talking about the Senate bill. I came in here thinking we were talking about the House bill. That's not even an illusion in my mind. We're talking about the Senate bill. And you passed that, I think you are very possibly jeopardizing Race to the Top funding because there's language in there that specifically says you cannot talk about federal fundings, you cannot talk about incentive programs, some of which are not even part of that bill. But if you want to sit here and pass a bill that jeopardizes potentially $500 million in the name of getting at an organization, just go forward and do it. You've talked a lot about insurance. Thank you, Representative Tyndall, for raising that. The fiscal note on that Senate amendment is $16 million. Savings. Savings. Now, where is it going to come from? I'll tell you where it's going to come from, and it's in the fiscal note. Read it. It's going to come out of the pockets of teachers when they raise the health insurance premium for teachers.
Excuse me 1 second.
Yes, sir.
So we're not talking about the bill here. What you just stated is in the Senate bill. Please stay on the House bill.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I will just conclude by saying I think if you want to attack the TEA, and some obviously do, you can do that. I'm thick-skinned. I've been down here a long time. But I just hope not a single one of you goes home and tries to convince the teachers in your district that you've done something for education. That's not going to fly with them. It's not going to fly with the general public. They're not stupid. They see what this legislature has done and continues to do. And if you want to vote for this, and you want to say you jab Jerry or you jab the TEA, you go right ahead and do that. But don't go home and expect them to understand that they're not going to do it, and they're more motivated now than I've ever seen the teachers. And I'll just say this, accountability. We talk a lot about accountability for teachers. It cuts both ways. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We are going to go